Archaeologists have unveiled a city in Peru that is 3,500 years old. This city likely served as a trading hub, connecting Pacific coast cultures with those from the Andes and Amazon. When history challenges all known science, scientists are often left confused. Questions arise about the reality of their scientific understanding. This confusion recently struck at the Inca stone walls, which are 500 years old and still standing strong. These walls were built without any mortar or cement. Just giant granite blocks, shaped with stone tools, locked together so perfectly that nothing can slip between them. This precision has left scientists questioning the identity of the Inca people. Join us in this video as we explore the discoveries made about the Inca stone walls. No way! This is human achievement. The first major breakthrough regarding the Inca mystery came from a group of MIT engineers. They studied how Inca walls managed weight and stress. Modern structural analysis revealed that the irregular, puzzle-like stone patterns were not mere artistic flourishes. They were intentional engineering choices. By locking the stones into complex shapes, the Incas created structures that effectively distributed seismic stress. This was a remarkable feat. In other words, they developed earthquake-resistant architecture centuries before modern engineering understood these principles in the 1970s. This is mind-blowing in every sense. But the real revelation came with 3D scanning technology. When researchers mapped the exact surface contours of the stones, they uncovered something that seemed impossible. The contact points between the blocks were not just close fits, they matched with tolerances measured in fractions of a millimeter. These surfaces span several square meters. For perspective, even today's precision machining struggles to achieve such accuracy on large objects. The fits were so exact that daily temperature shifts could have caused expansion problems. Yet, these walls have maintained their perfection for over 500 years. They survived earthquakes, storms, and countless temperature cycles without any sign of failure. Advanced imaging revealed one more astonishing clue. The stones weren't just haphazardly hacked together, they showed subtle chisel marks and smoothly worked surfaces. This evidence suggests a deliberate step-by-step process of refinement. Every adjustment was purposeful. Every curve and every angle was meticulously shaped until the fit was exact. This was not by chance, it was mastery. When AI analysis revealed the logic behind the Inca stone walls, researchers thought they had reached the limit of surprises. However, the deeper the data went, the stranger the discoveries became. The geometric relationships between the stones were not random. They adhered to mathematical principles that wouldn't be formally described until the birth of modern crystallography centuries later. Somehow, the Incas were applying concepts of advanced mathematics long before European science even had the language to describe them. Computer modeling took this exploration a step further. It showed that these walls weren't built block by block. Instead, entire wall sections appear to have been conceived and constructed as cohesive units. The Incas executed their structures as unified systems. This suggests advanced planning and a three-dimensional visualization. This resemblance to modern computer-aided design feels eerily similar. It raises an unsettling question. Did the Incas possess measuring tools or calculating devices that haven't survived in the archaeological record? The level of precision seen in their stonework demands accurate instruments. Without them, the mathematics seems almost impossible. What troubles researchers even more is how this knowledge appears suddenly. Early Inca structures show solid but conventional craftsmanship. Then, almost overnight, the stonework leaps to a level of precision and sophistication even today's technology struggles to match. No gradual learning curve exists. Just a sharp break, as if a new source of knowledge appeared out of nowhere. The implications don't stop there. Was there truly out-of-this-world knowledge at play? Or were the builders remarkably skilled? Keep watching to find out. Beyond engineering, the Incas seemed to be astronomers. Further analysis of Inca wall geometry has revealed yet another impossible feature. Those trapezoidal doorways and windows, hallmarks of Inca architecture, weren't just aesthetic choices. They were mathematically optimized designs. Their angled proportions aren't merely decorative. They're functional, channeling seismic stress around openings with incredible efficiency. The trapezoid distributes earthquake forces in ways that minimize stress concentrations, preventing collapse. This level of design sophistication didn't formally appear in modern earthquake engineering until the 1960s. Yet somehow, the Incas were applying these principles 500 years earlier, using methods we still can't explain. Even more unsettling is the sheer consistency. From massive fortress walls to the simplest homes, the same principles appear everywhere. This suggests more than advanced knowledge. It implies a system for training, teaching, and standardizing construction techniques. But the mystery doesn't stop with earthquakes. The evidence points upward, toward the stars. Many Inca structures don't just withstand time and tremors. They also align with the heavens in ways that make astronomers uneasy. The precision is too sharp to be accidental. Take Machu Picchu. At the Temple of the Sun, the windows frame the winter solstice sunrise, not roughly, but exactly. On the solstice morning, the first beam of light passes through one precise window, illuminating a carved stone inside. It's not an approximation. It's a perfect alignment, accurate to within millimeters. And it has held for over 5 centuries, despite continental drift and shifts in Earth's tilt. To achieve this, the Incas would have needed detailed knowledge of celestial mechanics. They required highly precise instruments for measuring angles and calculations of the sun's position over years. That's advanced astronomy wrapped in advanced architecture. Centuries before, such methods supposedly existed. The Incas had no written language, certainly nothing like the mathematical notation for advanced calculations. Yet, their astronomical alignments go far beyond simple solstice observations. Recent studies reveal that many major Inca sites align with star positions significant thousands of years before the Incas existed. Some of these alignments match the skies of 10,000 BCE or even earlier. This creates a staggering paradox. How could 15th century builders know star positions from ages before their civilization? This isn't just coincidence. Due to the slow wobble of Earth's axis, a process called precession, star positions gradually shift over centuries. Ancient star maps would become useless without complex correction formulas. Yet, Inca structures reflect exactly those corrections, as if their builders possessed astronomical data stretching back millennia. What else did the Inca people know that the world still shivers at? Keep watching to find out. More depths and secrecy lie within the Intihuatana stone at Machu Picchu. At first glance, it's just a carved granite outcrop. In reality, it functions as a three-dimensional calendar, sundial, and astronomical computer. Its intricate surfaces track the sun's movement across the year and pinpoint key stars and constellations. Modern analysis shows its geometry encodes calculation methods that predate spherical trigonometry by centuries. In other words, its designers solved problems in 3D geometry without the tools modern science considers essential. And the mystery deepens further. Many Inca alignments point to celestial objects that weren't even visible to the naked eye during their time. Star clusters and nebulae that require telescopes to detect. How could the Incas have known they existed? Even what appears to be decoration carries hidden meaning. Stone carvings that look abstract turn out to be precise star maps. These maps are accurate down to specific constellations. Some match views of the sky visible only from certain locations on Earth during narrow time windows. The more we uncover, the clearer it becomes. Inca architecture was not just about walls and temples. It was a dialogue with the cosmos, built on knowledge that shouldn't have been within their reach. Recent satellite surveys have uncovered something staggering. The layout of Inca cities, roads, and sacred sites isn't random at all. Together, they form a giant astronomical calendar, stretching for hundreds of miles. It suggests that the Incas possessed astronomical knowledge and technical ability that simply shouldn't have been possible in the pre-telescopic era. Then comes the even bigger enigma, their transportation of impossibly massive stones. Yet evidence shows the Incas did this repeatedly. AI-assisted analysis has confirmed they transported blocks of this size. These blocks were moved over distances of 20 meters or more, often through some of the most unforgiving geography on Earth. The logistics defy reason. A stone that size would require about 2,000 workers just to lift using primitive levers. To drag it across flat ground, at least 4,000 people would need to pull in perfect synchronization. But the Inca weren't working on flat land. They were hauling stones up steep mountain slopes. These slopes had a 30-degree incline. Physics tells us this triples the required force. This means over 12,000 workers were needed for each stone. Now consider the scale. The largest Inca sites contain thousands of these blocks. Where could they have gathered such labor? And how did they even accomplish this? Let's find out. Better than machines. The Inca's secret movers remain a mystery. Archaeology offers no clear answers. There are no traces of infrastructure for such a colossal effort. No campsites. No kitchens, no storage depots, no roadbeds strong enough to bear such weight. The stones are present, the cities still stand, but the method is missing. Recent geological studies have made the Inca stone transport puzzle even stranger. Many blocks at famous sites don't match the local rock. Instead, they were quarried miles away. Sometimes these stones came from places separated by deep river valleys and rugged ridges. These paths seem utterly impassable for anything weighing hundreds of tons. Take Sacsayhuaman, the fortress towering over Cusco. Some stones weigh close to 1,000 tons. These stones were traced back to quarries over 20 miles away. Moving them across such brutal terrain, using only ropes, levers, and manpower, seems impossible. It wasn't just about size, it was also about precision. Many stones were carved before transport. They had to arrive at the site without a chipped edge. A crack during the journey would ruin months of work. Yet, the stones remain flawless today. When researchers trace transport routes, the mystery deepens. Some paths have inclines steeper than 45 degrees, far beyond modern equipment's capability. Others run across narrow mountain ledges, barely enough space for a worker. Even more baffling, evidence suggests many megaliths were moved during the rainy season. When rivers surged, paths turned to mud, and mountain passes became nearly impossible to traverse. Yet, construction never stopped. Delivery of stones was continuous year-round. The logistics defy common sense and basic physics. Moving blocks of this scale is daunting. How did they manage it? What were the early Inca people onto? Keep watching to find out. Discovered. The secret Inca principle. The turning point arrived when researchers fed 3D scans. These scans were analyzed by the world's most advanced AI-powered architectural systems. What the machines uncovered would shake archaeology to its core. What came back changed everything we knew. The computers uncovered construction techniques that had been lost to time. Historical records reveal methods so advanced that modern engineering is just beginning to explore them. AI has shown that Inca stonework operates on principles similar to metamaterial engineering. This involves creating materials with properties that do not naturally exist. The joints between stones weren't just snug fits, they acted like engineered interfaces. During earthquakes, these interfaces generated frequencies that canceled out destructive seismic waves. This represents the frontier of 21st century science, involving quantum mechanical modeling. Yet the Incas were applying these principles 500 years ago with a precision our technology still struggles to match. The most jaw-dropping revelation came when AI mapped the entire Inca road system. Machine learning uncovered hidden geometric relationships across the Andes. This revealed what looks like a continent-scale computing network. Cities, roads, and sacred sites were interconnected in a way that processed astronomical data. They may have even predicted seismic events. To truly model this system, researchers now require quantum computing. Somehow, the Incas turned the very landscape into an information processor. They applied concepts that wouldn't be formally defined until the birth of quantum field theory. By every conventional standard, this should be impossible. No known civilization could leap this far ahead without centuries of incremental scientific progress. Yet, the evidence is right there in stone. The Incas mastered physics, mathematics, and engineering on a level centuries beyond their time. Today, AI models generate reconstructions that sound like pure science fiction. Advanced material sciences, quantum engineering, and architectural information systems are hidden in plain sight. The Inca legacy forces us to rethink the limits of ancient human knowledge. Why do the Inca walls spark so much controversy? Did the Incas have access to lost technologies? Or are we missing something even bigger? The devastating structure of the Inca stone wall remains a marvel. For centuries, archaeologists were baffled by its construction. How could the Incas achieve what modern engineers struggle to replicate? The more researchers investigated, the stranger and more astonishing the answers became. These walls weren't just built, they were engineered with extraordinary skill. Take a walk through Machu Picchu and try sliding a piece of paper between the stones. You won't manage it, even a credit card won't fit. These stones aren't small rocks, some are multi-ton blocks of volcanic andesite. They were carved and placed with such precision that even today's stonemasons are in disbelief. The Spaniards had never seen anything like this back in Europe. Some even wrote reports claiming the Incas possessed supernatural powers. However, modern science offers a different explanation. Geologists have tested the theory of soft stone and found it impossible. Rock cannot be softened without heating it to over 1,000 degrees Celsius. And the Incas lacked the technology to generate or sustain that kind of heat. Yet here we are, staring at stones weighing up to 200 tons. These stones are cut with intricate curves and angles, fitting together like master puzzle pieces. The precision in their construction is jaw-dropping. Every surface had to be calculated to distribute weight evenly across contact points. This had to be done while adapting to the irregular shapes of neighboring stones. One mistake could have led to a complete collapse of the entire section. But the Incas nailed it every single time across hundreds of buildings. What makes this even harder to grasp is the tools they had available. Excavations have uncovered nothing more than bronze chisels, stone hammers, and wooden wedges. No pulleys, no wheels, and no iron tools were found. By all accounts, they were working with what amounts to Stone Age equipment. Yet they achieved results that modern engineering crews still find challenging. Are the rumors true? Were the early Inca people the best structural engineers that existed? Let's explore the engineering ingenuity of the Incas. On a microscopic level, the contact surfaces of these stones show wear patterns. These patterns suggest the stones were not just placed once and left alone. Instead, they were moved and adjusted repeatedly until achieving a perfect fit. How do you fine-tune the placement of a 50-ton stone block with primitive tools? That's the question that keeps archaeologists awake at night. The Inca walls aren't just about stones fitting neatly together. Some blocks were deliberately carved with curved surfaces that interlocked in intricate patterns. These weren't random shapes, mathematical analysis has revealed geometric principles at work. Evidence of planning and calculation so advanced, we still can't fully explain them. And that's only scratching the surface of the mystery. Now, let's address the problem that nobody likes to talk about, the tool paradox. The Incas built some of the most sophisticated stone structures in human history using tools that shouldn't have worked. For decades, excavations across the vast Inca Empire have revealed thousands of bronze chisels. However, not a single tool has been found that can carve andesite with such precision. The silence of the archaeological record is deafening. In the 1970s, engineers attempted to replicate Inca stonework using only tools from excavation sites. The outcome was a complete failure. Even with modern knowledge of leverage and stone properties, the results weren't even close. The replicas appeared crude and jagged, nothing like the seamless joints of Machu Picchu. How is the world responding to these discoveries? Keep watching to find out. Shocking conspiracy theories have emerged about the Inca stone walls. The finishes were perfectly smooth and mirror-like, reflecting light as if the stone were glass. Achieving that level of polish on hard andesite isn't something done casually. It requires progressively finer abrasives, endless patience, and staggering amounts of labor. 6 months for just one stone. Now consider the largest Inca structures. These structures consist of thousands of perfectly finished blocks. The math quickly becomes absurd. Either the Incas commanded an army of master stonemasons working for decades, or they had techniques and tools that left absolutely no trace in the archaeological record. And this is where the conspiracy theories start to creep in. Some researchers note that the sudden appearance of advanced Inca stonework coincides with old legends. These legends tell of mysterious teachers who came from across the sea. According to Inca oral tradition, these figures carried knowledge of construction and engineering. Spanish chroniclers recorded these tales, but mainstream archaeology has dismissed them as mythology. Still, evidence in stone suggests knowledge and techniques far beyond what should have been possible. The tool problem only worsens when examining the quarries. The Incas extracted massive blocks directly from solid rock faces with astonishingly clean cuts. Today, we rely on diamond-tipped saws and hydraulic splitters to achieve similar results. But the Incas supposedly had only bronze chisels, stone hammers, and wooden wedges. How do you reconcile that with the flawless cuts we see in their walls? When modern science collides with ancient impossibility, one thing becomes clear. The stones don't lie. Unlike humans, AI remains unbiased. It simply analyzes data and reveals patterns without preconceived notions. When researchers fed precise measurements of Inca stonework into AI analysis software, the results shocked them. Teams reran the calculations repeatedly, convinced something had gone wrong. What other shocking results did scientists find? Keep watching to find out. Peru rests on one of the most perilous fault lines on our planet. The Nazca Plate grinds against the South American Plate, unleashing powerful earthquakes. These earthquakes can flatten modern cities built from steel and concrete. Yet, the Inca walls remain standing as if untouched by disaster. The most dramatic proof came in 1950, when an earthquake measuring 8.1 struck Cusco. Entire neighborhoods collapsed, churches, colonial buildings, and homes turned to rubble. But the Inca walls, centuries old, remained completely intact and unfazed. When the Great Cusco earthquake struck, the difference was unmistakable. Colonial-era Spanish buildings built atop Inca foundations crumbled above. Meanwhile, the Inca stone bases stood untouched, a testament to their durability. Not a single purely Inca wall suffered significant damage during this disaster. And this wasn't an isolated event, the pattern has repeated over 500 years. Modern structures fail, while Inca walls endure, showcasing remarkable consistency. This consistency is so impressive that Peruvian building codes encourage Inca designs. But here's where it gets truly mysterious: the Incas' seismic resistance methods. They achieved this using techniques that seem to contradict modern engineering principles. Today's earthquake-resistant buildings rely on flexibility, designed to bend without breaking. But Inca walls appear completely rigid, with massive stone blocks locked together immovably. Remarkably, they outperform flexible modern buildings in one of the most active seismic zones. Sensitive seismic monitoring has revealed the secret behind their resilience. Inca walls don't flex, instead, they breathe during seismic events. They then settle back into place, a phenomenon known as controlled micromovement. Achieving this requires mind-boggling precision in shaping each stone. Each stone must be shaped to exact tolerances to allow just enough movement. Too loose, and the wall would collapse; too tight, and it would shatter. Somehow, the Incas achieved this perfect balance across millions of joints. To design walls this way, one would need to predict interactions under stress. Today, we rely on advanced computer modeling to manage these complex calculations. Yet the Incas had no computers or written mathematical notation. And still, they built walls that outperform ours even today. Who truly were the early Inca people, and why do we marvel at their prowess? In the early 16th century, European explorers began to reach the lands of the Incas. Just a few years later, in 1532, the Spanish launched their conquest of the Inca Empire. By 1572, the last Inca stronghold had fallen to Spanish forces. Between 1438 and 1533, the Incas expanded their empire through both conquest and alliances. At its peak, the empire united regions of modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and beyond.